Hello everyone and welcome to round 5 of the Initials tournament. I lost the previous round against Flash Silver, which meant I had to drop down to the losers bracket. It's immediately the finals of the losers bracket though, with the winner of this match facing Flash Silver in the finals. And my opponent in this match is vvooper, the same person that I beat 2-0 in round 3, although I feel it was with a bit of luck on my side, so it could potentially be a lot closer. Let's see what happens. As you can see, the teams are the same as in our final game in round 3. This is the first time that I decide to start with my second team because one, I've already faced vvooper and know that my first team won't be too great. I need the power and speed and things of my second team to stand a good chance. And at the same time, I also feel that the level of the competition at this moment is high enough that I just want to use my second team just to go for that higher chance of victory. I need it. Otherwise, I may just be knocked out here. So, what is my opening? Well, the last time I opened with Hoopa, and they opened with Meowstick, and I Dark Pulsed while they reflected, thanks to the Prankster ability, not realizing that I was a special Hoopa. Let's see what happens here. They open Jirachi. Well, I still open Hoopa thinking that's the safest option. However, I know from the previous fight that Jirachi is scarfed, that Jirachi has U-turn. That's how it killed me last time. Time to switch. Rosemon comes in, my Magearna, they U-turn and send in Meowstick. Meowstick knows that I'm a special Rosemon, sets up a light screen, very smart. I Thunderbolt, don't do too much damage. They Thunder Wave me to paralyze me, which is a very nice choice. I keep Thunderbolting, still not a lot of damage. I feel that there's not a lot else I can do. They set up the Reflect, knowing that Azumarill may very well come in the next, was it, 7 turns, and be negatively affected by that Reflector. That's a smart play. After that, they switch because Meowstick possibly doesn't have a damaging move. Let's see, they have Thunder Wave, Reflect, Light Screen. I don't remember what the 4th move is, if I even ever found out. Either way, if it can even damage Magearna, it won't be by a lot. Possibly it has Psychic. But Jirachi is sent in likely for the Fire Punch, predicting that I switch to my Azumarill. Fire Punch does come in, and luckily I'm not burned. I set up Belly Jump because that's really the only thing I can really do. Manaphy comes in. They do still have Reflect up. However, I just go for the Play Rough, thinking I need to hit hard. I need to hit really hard, and I do. And to my surprise, I actually KO with Play Rough. Jirachi comes in. I Aqua Jet to make sure I get some damage in before Jirachi takes me out with Iron Head. Scarf, Jirachi locked into Iron Head. This is going to get dangerous. I need Hoopa. I just need to not get flinched. 40% chance to not get flinched. They actually get a crit, meaning they can deal... They need one less attack to get through, and then they flinch me as well, which, thanks to Serene 60%, there's a higher chance of flinching compared to not flinching, so they just get another attack into Raymond. Magearna comes in. I can definitely do this. Well, there's a good chance with Magearna, especially with Light Screen now gone, but I'm paralyzed, and they have Iron Head. They switch Jirachi out, want to set up Light Screen again, which is very smart to give more survivability, but also to make sure Jirachi can use Fire Punch just to deal more damage to Rosemon, which together with Light Screen, I would say is a very good play to make. I switch back into Jirachi. I get paralyzed. Fire Punch comes in, deals over half damage. I get paralyzed. They Fire Punch. I actually survive it. Doesn't matter. Well, I try my all-out pummeling. Don't actually take it out because they don't have the special attack boost from the last game against them. And they have Light Screen up as well. They Fire Punch and actually lose the first game. There was a good amount of RNG, the luck involved with your Jirachi. With mostly it's Jirachi, Iron Head. The paralysis definitely didn't work in my favor on Magearna. Definitely worked in their favor. I got like 3 or 4 times that I got fully paralyzed. So luck was on their side, which is part of the game. So I can't be angry about that, I feel. But they just made some really good plays with their Meowstick, using Thunder Wave, which I didn't have a chance to use last time because I just one-shotted them with Hoop. They set up Light Screen and Reflect, and last time I believe only Reflect was up, so I was still able to do my stuff with special attacks and win that way. So with Meowstick they can do a lot, and then with the luck involved with Jirachi, your choice of Ironhead, I knew that this would be a very difficult battle. Let's just go to game number 2 and hope that I win that, because if I lose any more games this match, I'm out of the tournament. Game number 2. They start with Meowstic. I decide to start with Azumarill. They Thunder Wave. However, I realized that that's very likely either Thunder Wave or a Reflect, which means even if I Belly Drum, they will probably survive with a Meowstic. So what I decide to do instead is Knock Off. I don't think I've actually used Knock Off previously in this entire tournament. I didn't really think about it. I was just thinking Stab, like max power, Player Off, and then Alco Jet for priority. I don't think I considered Knock Off except for maybe once before. So I believe I came up with the idea of using Knock Off, I want to say, in the first game. Decided to go for Knock Off, get the crit, which I might have helped. It gets obviously more power due to the fact that they have a held item. The idea was just to knock the item off so that the Reflecting Light Screen wouldn't stay on the field as much. But with possibly the help of a crit, which I feel did matter, I take out the Meowstic, so no screens for the rest of the match. I do have a paralyzed Azumarill, but I feel this is the way to go. They Tail Glow, I Knock Off, because I think, you know, I want to say I knew they had leftovers. Maybe I didn't. Either way, it was likely not going to be a Z thing. I'm talking nonsense now. I just don't remember as I'm recording this, if at the time I knew what their item was. Chances are I did, considering I did fight the Manaphy before. Anyway, I used Knock Off to get rid of that to get good, decent damage in. Play Rough would have been more damage. However, that has that 10% chance of missing, assuming obviously that I got through paralysis, but Knock Off had the same thing. I decided to just go for the 100% accuracy move with Knock Off and get rid of their item, which likely would have been best. They Tail Glow again, set up the 4-time special attack. Here I do decide to go for Play Rough because it's definitely the most damage. Unfortunately, I miss. They use Surf. I survive with just 5%, which is really helpful. I Play Rough, get real good damage in. Aqua Jet is necessary. I can finish it off, but no! I get paralyzed on the Aqua Jet. They Surf, take out Azumarill. And I believe that what they said near the end of the match is that they actually were distracted by something else just as they got to the 4-time special attack after the double Tail Glow. And they should have selected Psychic with Manaphy, which, considering its normal effective against Azumarill and Surf already took it down to 5%, Psychic would have taken it out and Manaphy would have had a lot more HP. Would it have survived this choice scarfed Dark Pulse? Unsure, quite possibly not. Either way, I knew that with Choice Scarf Rayman, I would be faster than that Manaphy, which is good. They do have Jirachi out now, which also has a Choice Scarf, so Jirachi is faster than myself. I do have Magearna in the back, and they don't have a Meowstic anymore to switch into, so it's looking pretty good for me. Last time Meowstic was also paralyzed, which it is not now, so it's looking good. I just need to make sure I don't get paralyzed. I mean flinched, which is their good chance. They get over 50%. I get flinched. I get hit again, and Rayman is out, and they can just continue that on Magearna. It's still normal effective because of the fairy typing. Get the Iron Head in. They do over 1/3 damage, so they just need 2 more hits of that, which means 2 more flinches, or just 2 times surviving an attack, which is very possible, considering I don't have special attack boost. I Thunderbolt to get the paralysis, which is super important, because this means I'm actually faster. I went for Thunderbolt knowing that that's probably the best way to go. I could have Ice Beamed with the chance of freezing, but that would have dealt less damage, so I decided to just go with Thunderbolt, and hope for the 10% chance of paralysis. Got it! So now my best bet is just go with my best attack, which is my all-out pummeling. I don't actually take it out. They Iron Head, get me down to low percentage, well, quite low percentage, but thanks to that paralysis, I go first, I get the Thunderbolt off, and wow, an RNG battle. But this time it was slightly in my favor. It is 1-1. We still have one more game of this to go, and this is exciting. I'm at this point, like as I'm battling, I'm super excited about this. I really want to just get to the finals, obviously, just to win, or at least have a chance to win, knowing that with a bit less of Bright Powder RNG, that can be a super close fight as well on that Zapdos. But for now, I'm just really enjoying this fight. Sure, there's a lot of luck involved with the paralysis, just getting paralyzed in the first place, fully paralyzed on both sides, predictions with the screens, the Iron Head with Serene Grace. There's a lot of luck-based things involved, but I'm just really, really enjoying it. Final game. This will decide who goes to the finals. It is Meowstic that comes out, and I once again decide to open with Hoopa. I think, yeah, they know by now that I'm a special Hoopa, so the light screen, I'm still just gonna Dark Pulse. That's my best bet. They forget! They forget that I'm a special Hoopa, and I one-shot it. I one-shot the Meowstic. And this is very similar to the previous game, however, now I know and remember they have U-turn, so I just switched into Golden Bun, expecting that U-turn, which I almost had to do. Because they could have also otherwise just taken out my Hoopa. I decided once again to go for the knockoff. They do have a Reflect Up, they do let set up, but at least their leftovers is gone. Only now do I Belly Drum because I just wanted to make sure that I got the knockoff of, that their leftovers was gone, that their healing was gone that way. I felt that overall that would be the better choice. Now I Belly Drum. Potentially I could have gone for the play rough. Instead, knowing that they're faster, I went for Belly Drum to have an Aqua Jet. If you do the calculations, Aqua Jet on its own is 40 power. With 4 times attack, it goes up to 160. Stab goes up to 240. But due to the fact that it's not very effective, it goes down to 120 power. Where Play Rough, being 90 base power, with Stab and not being lowered by not very effective, goes to 135 power. So Play Rough without Belly Drum, in this case, would have been stronger than the Aqua Jet with Belly Drum. However, I likely went with Belly Drum and Aqua Jet just to have the certainty of damage, because I felt that most likely with Magearna or Hoopa both being special attackers and light screen not being up, I would be able to take out the Manaphy as long as there's a decent amount of damage on it. And Play Rough did have that 10% chance of missing, and I did not want to risk that. So, Belly Drum, Aqua Jet, deal only 24% damage, which isn't as much as I expected, as much as I hoped. So, I switch it to Hoopa, knowing that it's faster. Magearna is not, so Hoopa I feel is the best choice. Here I'm thinking about this. I know I'm faster, but I wasn't sure whether Dark Pulse would KO. Manaphy has good HP, good special defense, all base 100. Rayman, I don't recall its special attack. I want to say it's 120, but I'm not sure. It's high anyway. Stab Dark Pulse with Stab is 120 power. I wasn't sure that it would KO. So I went for more certainty with Psychic. I really wanted to go with Dark Pulse due to the fact that I'm Choice Scarfed, and then with Jirachi remaining, Dark Pulse would allow me to just continue, assuming of course I don't get flinched by the Iron Head. I would just be able to continue and hit Jirachi hard. Would I use Psychic, then higher chance of taking down Manaphy, but then I would only deal quarter damage to Jirachi, and I'd almost have to switch. Eventually, I considered both options, and I do decide to go for the Psychic to have a higher chance of taking them out. Jirachi comes in. I have to switch because I know that Hoopa is my best bet against the Jirachi. I need that Dark Pulse, so I switch to Rosemont, take the Iron Head, take another Iron Head. Do I get flinched? Yes! Which means another Iron Head comes in. Reflect is gone, but that doesn't matter because I only have special attacks left. Choice Scarf is there. 100%, 100%. Do I get flinched like in game 1? Over half! I don't! Dark Pulse and I win! I win the fight! That was ridiculously close. The flinch on Magearna, I suppose, didn't matter due to the fact that Rayman didn't get flinched. It was able to one-shot Jirachi with Dark Pulse, showing that definitely the switch was the right choice. Yeah, if they would have flinched me there, they would have won. It was up to that Iron Head chance, and purely looking at that 1v1 scenario with Hoopa and Jirachi, with them being faster and Iron Head dealing over 50%, they had a higher chance of winning due to the fact that Iron Head on its own has a 30% chance of flinching, but due to Jirachi's ability Serene Grace, that's doubled to 60%. They had a 60% chance of winning. I only had 40. But in that final turn, the RNG gods were on my side, and I win the fight. I win the game, I win the match 2-1. but that was ridiculously close. What this means is that vvooper is knocked out after this amazing battle. So vvooper, thank you very much. You said before the match started that you didn't see yourself standing much of a chance. Well, you definitely stood much of a chance because luck was definitely on your side for a good portion of it, especially in game one. Unfortunately for you, that final turn, I got that 40%, which means I move on to the finals, which means Flash Silver is once again my opponent. They didn't have another opponent in between the last match that they had against us, so they just go in with still a loss being possible. I have to beat them in 2 matches. Once again, it's double elimination. I've already lost once. If I beat them in a match, whether it's 2-0 or 2-1, then they have then lost their first match, and then we go into a grand final. If I want to win the tournament, I have to make that happen. So tomorrow, round 6, the finals. The potential finals, as you could call it, because it's not the true finals if I win the match. See you then.